Today we're playing What Remains of Edith Finch. The most I've heard about this game is what my friend was telling me when he was playing it. So I never actually seen. Hope this game isn't too long. Let's just play. Okay. Edith Finch. Flip it. Oh, okay. Flip. Flip. Flip the page.
This isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning with the house.
The house. Okay, here we are. Can you run or something? What type of house is this?
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
I wouldn't want to live in a house like that, to be honest with you. How much is the cost to live there? Pull it.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Recipes, Lewis.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
The front door?
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Let's go down. It's down here. Am I supposed to be going this way?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
They gave this to you, and you
But now I
took
had
it?
questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
So I am going the right way.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
Tell you to go home. Don't come. Don't live here. Just go. I'm recording? Yeah, alright. Got a little basketball hoop. A little truck. The lights on? Oh, I say, someone will be here.
The house was exactly like I remembered it.
It's
The way
crazy.
I'd been dreaming about it.
Dr. Seuss looking house.
As a child, the house made me
Look down.
uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Where's Milton? Why are you missing? Let me shut up. This look like, it looks pretty fresh to me. I don't know if,
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
I gotta go around to the back. Wait, is there more? Open it. Stop waiting on me.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Let go. I'm gonna turn this off. You can walk a little bit faster, man. Some pep in your step, man. Get some wind chimes. This house looks too fresh to not, you know. What's back here?
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
So this is passed down generations. Okay? Alright, use the key. Okay, guess we're going through here.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
I can guarantee you right now, you have not grown that much. I can guarantee you that. Alright.
The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
When y'all left, I just left all this stuff here. Just nasty. Type of fork is that?
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Chinese food.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Guarantee Edie is not with us right now. Rest in peace, Edie.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara.
He built that?
Along with the rest of the house.
It's kind of fire.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Man, he break that door down. Am I man here? What type of room is this? Why is it? Yeah, let's. Is that glue on the doors? I don't even want to know what's in there, dog.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Can I look into people? Calvin.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Just say Calvin. What do you mean dead brother? It's like memorials to the different people. How old is this house?
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
So I guess an old lady's room. Only an old lady would have a bathroom that looks like that. Eddie and Steve.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
I didn't know women can have like juniors. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's find out where to go. Because we can't go in any of the rooms. Alright, this is open. Here we go.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Walter?
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Oh. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Open the book.
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Find the stash of drugs. It's kind of fire. I like this.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
This is a really nice looking game. She out here cutting up starfish? Yeah. Get up out of here. Well, she has to be like sea life. That's this big jellyfish.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
They popping fireworks here, man.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Could he breathe in that though? That's fire though. Molly was a good. Open the door. Okay.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Behind the painting. Can I go through here? Where do I go, man? What's up here? Okay. Molly Finch.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Ain't good, girl.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Get off of Christopher. Leave Christopher alone. Why is it so dark? Is this... Hold on. Is this supposed to be this dark? No, now the game looks ashy. Let's just turn it back down. Alright.
I kept eating and eating.
Why did she feed you, man? Feed your kids.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Are those even edible?
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
What?
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
What do you mean you was a cat? Finna eat you. Finna eat you. Don't worry.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Never read this hungry to eat birds, man.
I gobbled her up.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Molly.
Suddenly, I was an owl.
Oh,
First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
whoa.
Rabbits.
Where? Right there. Yeah, don't run now. Rabbits. Come here, Mr. Rabbit. Yeah, Mr. Rabbit.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit.
Maybe it's just a dream.
Then I flew off to find something bigger.
What am I looking for?
A mama rabbit.
Yeah, Mama Rabbit. Yeah, Mama Rabbit. Come here. It's the same
Even though it was
size.
too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
What the fuck? What is this? And what am I playing, dog?
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean.
Oh, we good.
Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Look down, man. Oh. Why are my controls
I wanted
inverted?
fat, juicy seals.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? There he is. Come here. Come here, Mr. Seal. What are these controls, man? There he is. Okay, get the controls right, get the controls right, get the controls right. There we go. Hi.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Man, kids have a crazy imagination. Come here. Let me eat you.
I grabbed on tight,
Ah.
but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
My snake.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Yeah. Why'd that scare me?
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
I mean, I'm in somebody's house.
Closer and closer.
Gonna go up here. Molly, this is your room. Are you in here, Molly? Oh, she's not here. She has to be on the bed.
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
She got eaten?
not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Alright, we got Molly. The damn bird.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom.
What type of flag is that?
People, Sven was killed by a dragon. She could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
It's your name. What do you mean? It's your government. You gotta put that on documents.
Her room is like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune. And Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
What? You put your house on a boat?
But
What?
40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
What was he thinking?
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okay. So this, I don't know what's wrong with them, but
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on with y'all. A house on a boat. Close the book, Edith. Alright, I gotta find something else.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Like, what? Got the pills, popping pills. Got the old people chair. Is that bleach? Hope it's not.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Like, why would you want this type of carpet on a wet floor? Let's get out of here. That's mold. That's just... I'll leave out this way? No. Go out this way? No. Where do I go, Edith? Help. There's everything in here, I think. Is there a book? You know how to read? Oh, here we go. Open it. Open it.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Bars. This is fire. Imagine a house having a bunch of secret rooms. whose room is this? The twins' room. Calvin. Okay, Calvin and the other dude.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
It must suck losing a twin, man. Like, genuinely.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Like, losing anybody sucks, but like a twin, someone that looks just like you.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did.
Supposed to be doing something? You want to swing with a broken foot.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Calvin finna die, man.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
R.I.P. to
maybe
Calvin.
he'd still be here. But
I didn't mean to
doubt.
say that.
I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Calvin, I swear if you jump off. Just get off the swing, Calvin. You're about to go upside down, Calvin. Calvin.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
That's how Calvin
The
died?
story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Oh
After
my
the funeral,
God.
Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
R.I.P. to Calvin, man. It's over here. This game is crazy.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
I don't want to go out yet, though. What's this room?
Growing up,
Barbara Finch.
I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
It is always hard for those child stars when they grow up. Try to find other things to do.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
85 cents?
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that.
Shut up.
Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Oh.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Stop with this music, man.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
God!
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police described the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
I returned, saw the hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door. The years, inches grow.
Baka!
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Now, where'd he go?
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Let me back up for this.
was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
What did they do to her?
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Alright, we gotta go back through this.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
This time. Now, why you walking down the stairs like this? Come on, cuh. Alright, where's the music box?
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Where's
It's
the
funny.
music box?
All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
I hear this.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
How many people actually have gotten tetanus?
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter was gone.
What is this?
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories,
This a fallout shelter?
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
What was she preparing for?
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
What were you preparing for? 1970?
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
He died 2005. What was he preparing for?
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of...
You stayed down there for 30 years?
Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Eating peaches?
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
So were you the mole that lady was talking about? Where do I go? Who's out the way? Oh, this is the guy that so he went into hiding after what happened to his sister. Sister died, he was under the bed. He was okay. It's all coming together now. So he had this whole hideout, staying there for 30 years.
I know it's out there somewhere.
And he was the mole that the lady was old lady was talking about.
Whatever killed Barbara.
And he's just paranoid.
And Molly. And Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food.
You live this whole life
I don't mind
sheltered.
if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
He's getting hit by a train? Get up out of there, man. So I'm guessing he was the mole.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Oh, so they knew.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Definitely.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But
She had
if she
everything.
never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made,
Yeah, I know it smells bad down there.
trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
That nigga get hit by a train, man. R.P. Walter, man.
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
Share your story, man.
But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
Is that the house that he tried to bring over here? He died right when he almost got to shore. That's crazy.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Oh, you talking? I'm putting together pieces, girl. I don't know what you talking about.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Like, what is that up there? That's what I want to know. What are those extra pieces of house? Where'd I go?
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
These are all
3
your
of
pets?
the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Oh, these are the
Sven
people.
built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly, Calvin, Sven, Edie, Walter, Barbara.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
This is a fire monument. Y'all was some builders, man.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Gregory, Sam, Gus. Oh, it's more? Sanjay, Lewis, and Milton. You still don't know what happened to Milton.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
It's probably easier for her to have you do that.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Hold on. For 22 weeks. Don't fall. Don't even walk in the glass. You 17? I'm not gonna say nothing about that. I'm gonna shut up. It's not
I
my
never
place.
met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Alright. Open the thing. Ugly.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
Gotta flick it up.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Take a picture of the scenery right here. The scenery. Take all kinds of pics. What am I supposed to be taking a picture of, man? I didn't mean to do that. That?
Aw.
That dang bird again.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hmm.
Hey!
That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
To tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map. You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo.
Shut up. I'm a photographer.
Let's see. Maybe. Or was it?
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your...
I should let them talk.
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up, elbows down, like we practiced. Whenever you're ready. Great shot, Don.
God!
I'm proud of you, Don. Always
Why you
remember
crying?
that.
Why you
okay?
crying about that thing like that? How you get up there? Oh.
Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Oh my God.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
What do you mean? I got knocked off. me get up out of here, man. Where I go next? Oh.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
No way they had this baby living in the attic.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Oh man, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish you could have told us.
This is sick.
And he'd want you to be happy too.
R.P. Gregory.
Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
He was only one. R.I.P. man.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
This is fire. This is fire.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Where I go? Here's somebody. Boom. Oh, here we go.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Dang, Gus. Don't do that to your dad, man.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
I'm having too much fun. Focus. Focus. Where'd I go?
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
What happened to him? Now, I don't know what happened to Gus. Did he get impaled? Did he get struck by lightning, like Benjamin Franklin?
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Gus seemed cool. R.P. Gus. Y'all clone with this? Yeah.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses.
Look at Sanjay.
Where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Don and Sanjay. Okay, girl. All right, what are we looking at?
Religion
The
was
Bible?
another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Just read the scripture real quick. Fly to India. She wants to go to India. Okay. Well, I guess she did go to India. Careful, girl. You know you got that baby. Where I go now? Going up. I don't think I have to go. I don't think I'm supposed to be going this far back. Turn back around. Let's go back up. Can I? Let's go back up and see. I'm sure I can finish this game tonight. Here we go. I don't know why I didn't see this.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
She did go to
Louis
India.
was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
So they added another house on top.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
What is this?
But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Where'd Milton go? They don't know. Milton could be still alive.
Milton
Magic
Finch
paintbrush.
The magic paintbrush.
Hold on. Edith. Oh. This is fire. Milton was, man.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
This is a fire room. And a family full of architects.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Guess we gotta go up.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room.
Lewis is doing
Except
something.
Lewis.
What is that? I have no idea what that is. But I know it's not used for good things.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar.
PlayStation?
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
He graduated though. Shout out to Lewis. 2010. I knew they had headsets like that back then.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
rainbows. Rainbows.
Radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising me. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
I don't know what to say about that one. I got nothing to say. He's gonna keep
My
it
brother
pushing.
was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Gonna keep pushing. I ain't nothing to say about that.
He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
Don't go back in, Edith. I gotta go through that door. I did. My bad, Edith.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Where'd she go?
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it.
Where'd Sanjay go? They probably said something about it and I wasn't paying attention.
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot.
You messed up my...
She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Am I?
This is where your story begins.
Was I just born?
I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone.
She
I want
died?
you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
What? What? She died. She died. I thought she was gonna be the one to survive and break the whole little thing. Why was everybody just dying in their family? Did I miss something? Is there a reason? Oh my god. That was a good game. That was a great game, actually. It's really sad, man. Everybody just died. That was an amazing game. That was an amazing game. There's a couple of times where I had to try not to get sad, but yeah, that was really amazing. I want to play more games like that. Especially that one story. I forgot the name of the dude, but he lived under his house for 30 years or something like that. As soon as he came back, get hit by a train. Then Lewis chopped his head off. Drowned himself in imagination or in the world that he wished he lived in. That's crazy. It was a great stream. I'm glad this game wasn't too long. This was perfect, actually. I'm sure there's stuff that I missed playing it the first time. I'll probably play it. I'll try to go find some stuff off camera. And yeah, can I skip this? Get back to the main. Yeah, I think we're done. Maybe a stream, great stream. Go follow my socials and all that. Get out this game. Just go to sleep probably. I'm tired. Yeah. See you guys next time.